UNLV receiving their WCHL championship trophy tonight, but first they got to get through Arizona State. The Sun Devils beating the Skating Rebels 4-3 in regulation on Friday night. A gut punch for UNLV. Can they get it back in blood and end the season off and send their seniors off into the sunset with a win? Let's find out. ASU UNLV next. One final time in Vegas, taking a look next door at the Las Vegas ballpark. The Athletics and Arizona Diamondbacks playing a pair of spring training games here in the Las Vegas Valley, but the focus is right here at City National Arena. Thank you all for joining us one final time on the broadcast. I'm Dominic Lavoie, joined by AJ Reed. AJ, thanks for coming back on for the final time this season. It's senior night here at City National Arena. The Skating Rebels honoring 6 seniors tonight. We're going to get more information on them in just a little bit, but first up, AJ, last night a 4-3 regulation win for ASU over UNLV. A pretty big gut punch for the Rebels.
Yeah, and it's a Sun Devil team that just didn't go away last night. They were down 3-1 early in that second period, but a shorthanded goal and a power play goal to give them the lead late in the game. Simply a gut-punching performance, as you said, and they really want to try and take tonight's win for their seniors.
And those 2 power play goals, a shorthanded goal, part of 3 straight goals for Arizona State to give them that 4-3 win. And I spoke with assistant coach Nick Raboni pregame, and he simply said that UNLV didn't play a full 60 minutes, and that's something that's completely unacceptable at this stage of the year with nationals in just 6 days now. UNLV playing their first national tournament game on the 14th of March. But for more on those seniors that we mentioned earlier, Matias Dalonte, the captain, Preston Brodziak, an alternate, Cole Wyatt, an alternate, as well as Kyle Quinn, an alternate, the entire leadership class for UNLV graduating this year, as well as Bradley Gallant and Jeremy Foreman. For more on them, we're going to send things inside the arena to Kyle Sparrow.
Leading off this exceptional class of seniors, we have the captain of the Skating Rebels, defenseman Matias Dalonte, locking down the blue line. At his time at UNLV, he has had 90 games played, eclipsing 25 goals, 66 assists, combining for 91 points. Moving on next to his defensive pairing, also holding down the blue line, defenseman Kyle Quinn. His time at UNLV, 83 games played, 4 goals, 12 assists, combining for 16 points for him. Moving on to the forwards now. The guy who's always on the forward check, the speedster, Bradley Gallant. In his time at UNLV, 128 games played, has 64 goals and 82 assists to show for it, combining for a total of 146 points. Next, always seems like this guy is always leading the pack. Alternate captain Cole Wyatt, 128 games played, 42 goals, eclipsing the 100 assist mark, combining for 142 points. And the guy who could pretty much do it all, Preston Brodziak, the transfer from the Division I program, the Long Island Sharks. In his time at UNLV, 28 games played, 18 goals, eclipsing the 30 assist mark, combining for 31 points. And rounding out in between the pipes, goaltender Jeremy Foreman, the transfer from the Division I program of the University of New Hampshire. His time at UNLV has been nothing short of amazing. In his 17 games played, he has a record of 13-1-3 with a .910 save percentage and only allowing around the 2 goal mark, and as well as having 4 shutouts. That rounds out this exceptional class of seniors, and with that, we'll send it over to ringside with Zoe Salas.
Joining with me right now is Preston Brodziak. Preston, it's senior night. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. It's good to get one last game in front of the home fans before nationals and get a good win under our belt before we go into this week.
What impression are you hoping to leave with the UNLV Skating Rebels?
Just, I think, a little bit of leadership. Obviously, this is a big year for our program, beating Denver and stuff, so I think that just going into the future, I think that the sky's the limit for this program, and I think that if just to be a part of the build is awesome. So.
And what has been your most favorite memory so far with UNLV, just as a whole?
Definitely beating Denver. I think that put us on the map.
Right.
It was just, I think it was big for the program. And yeah, I think the future's bright, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, definitely beating Denver.
All right. And one last question for you. What do you hope to do differently tonight for your last game versus last night?
Yeah, I think yesterday definitely wasn't our best game. I think, especially going into nationals, we just got to get our game back and compete a little bit more. Definitely find our systems and just feel good going into nationals. So.
Well, good luck out there, Preston. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dom and AJ, I'll bring it back over to you guys.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Kyle. And to you, the viewer, the fans, whether you're from Arizona State, Las Vegas, a parent who's out of town, thank you all for tuning in for the final game here at City National Arena of the UNLV Skating Rebels 2024-2025 season. On the call as it's been for the last handful of series, myself, Dominic Dubois, and AJ Reed. AJ, once again, thank you for joining me on this broadcast. Under about 2.5 minutes to go until we get things going here on senior night. Really quickly, we're going to reflect on this season ourselves. What are some of your favorite memories this year?
Well, before we get into that, I'd like to give a very special birthday shout-out to my nephew out in Phoenix, Arizona, Caden Hankins. He turned 6 years old today, so wishing him a very happy birthday here in Vegas. But my favorite memory, to start off that Jamestown series earlier this year, that first game they won 7-1, I believe. Something crazy. You never expect that from a team like Jamestown. And then even though that second game they lost in overtime, it was still so exciting, so much back-and-forth action that it was a very fun game to call.
Definitely. I think that Jamestown series really stuck out for me as well. Just like you said, the two polar opposite games, night in and night out, made it a lot of fun. The first game, action-packed, lots of chippiness, lots of goals. And then the second night, maybe the most pure form of hockey from both teams that we've seen all season long. And honestly, it might be a preview of the national tournament. Those are two national championship caliber teams in the ACHA going head-to-head Saturday night, late-night puck drop. What makes it any better than that, right?
No, you're absolutely right there. And then you just think about those two teams, like I said, championship caliber, and we're getting ready to get into that national championship tournament. So knowing that how close those two teams have played each other has got to feel good for both Jamestown and UNLV. Another series that stuck out to me is that home opener versus Oregon. I know that particular sequence is that 5-on-3 shorthanded goal by Joey Carollo that we like to bring up. And it's just, a start to an amazing season.
100%. And I would say my second favorite memory before we get into a bit of Nationals talk very briefly here is probably the Arizona State series with the home alone jerseys. That was a really fun series. It was chippy. There was a lot of goal scoring. Arizona State this season has been a lot of fun to watch against UNLV. Last night was a lot of fun. If you missed it, go back maybe after the game's over and watch that broadcast back and watch some pretty good hockey. But we have some amazing hockey in front of us tonight and beyond. You mentioned the national tournament. UNLV takes the ice next Friday. They play the winner of the 15th-ranked Arizona Wildcats and the 18th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, two WCHL teams. UNLV, obviously, as we saw in the Open, they're going to be accepting their WCHL championship trophy, their first in program history. And you mentioned Jamestown as well, a national championship caliber team. They're ranked 5 in the country, a first-round bye as well. They play the winner on Saturday, March 15th, of Grand Canyon University and the Delaware Blue Hens. Two really good teams. Delaware is ranked 21st in the country, but honestly, they look pretty good. They played UNLV in Chicago, played them kind of close.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good teams in this bracket. We mentioned Jamestown, the defending national champs, Adrian, and you always got to look out for Minot State up there in North Dakota.
Absolutely.
They're always a force to be reckoned with, and just so many options, and I'm really excited for that first-round matchup, whether it is Arizona. We've seen them a couple times, but we haven't really seen UNLV play Oklahoma.
Not in a couple of years, yeah.
Not in a couple of years. They're in conference, so it'll be really interesting to see how UNLV takes on that matchup if it does end up being the Sooners.
And looking at the schedule as well this season, UNLV doesn't have to play 4 games in 4 days to make the national championship game or even win the national championship. If UNLV wins their opening round matchup on Friday the 14th, they have an off day in between, and then they play on Sunday the 16th. they potentially play Maryville, Northwood, Niagara, and then if they win that game, they go to the semifinals Monday, March 17th. So 3 games in 3 days for the national championship rather than 4, and that could be a multitude of teams: Minot, Drury, Westchester, Utah, Midland, Purdue Northwest, and then for the national championship, take your bet: Oswego, Jamestown, Liberty, Adrian, Ohio, University of Mary, Pittsburgh. Really just pick a number, and hockey's a crazy thing. You really never know who is going to be winning the championship in any given year, especially with a league with as much parity as the ACHA.
Yeah, and single elimination bracket in March. You know, there's always some funny business that happens with March Madness and ACHA hockey. And you mentioned it, the 3 games in 3 days is a really big advantage for UNLV compared to the 4 games in 4 days they had to go through last year. They've also added so much depth on this team this year that this team really prides itself on to help them carry them to that extra mile, maybe take that extra step to possibly win the national championship.
And health is going to be a big key for this national championship run. If this team stays healthy, they might be able to make a really convincing effort in the national championship game. Speaking with players who have since graduated that played in that game, they said we were banged up. It's not an excuse by any means, but they were exceptionally banged up in that national title game against Adrian, and they were playing Adrian really tight. The 3-0 score doesn't really tell the full story of the game. They hit multiple posts. There was one shot, one sequence where Caleb Strong was robbed by the glove of the Adrian netminder. Absolute heartbreak. This team's looking to get back there and get over the hump next year. But as the lights are about to come up here at City National Arena, we're going to step away. It's senior night. We're going to let you all enjoy the senior presentation. Stay with us. ASU, UNLV coming up.
This team, university, and community a place for future roles can be proud of. With 1 championship appearance and a record of 106 wins, 21 losses, and 7 ties over the last 4 seasons, there's no doubt their legacy will live on well past their time in Las Vegas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the video board where we'll be honoring our seniors.
I felt the brotherhood and commitment that defines being a skating rebel.
My experience here has been nothing short of incredible. I have so much gratitude for everyone involved in this program and what they've done for me my time here.
It has truly been an honor to put on a Rebel hockey jersey.
Enjoyed being around the guys every day as well, and winning games is fun. We win a lot of games.
And I'm excited for nationals to bring home a national championship. From the moment I got here, we were always a very competitive hockey team, but over the years we've made some great accomplishments.
It's made some history making the finals last year, won our first Division I game this year, won the conference.
The steps we've taken throughout the year have been tremendous, and I think that we've set ourselves up for going into nationals in a good position.
Seeing how much work has gone into elevating this team and knowing that I've been a part of it.
The way our coaches push us and the way we practice, it's going to keep getting better as well, and you can definitely see the program growing in the right direction.
So many incredible moments with this team, but if I had to pick one, it would be defeating Denver.
It's got to be beating Denver in Magnus this year. My favorite memory is definitely beating Denver in Denver.
Obviously, beating Denver was one of the coolest hockey games I've ever been a part of. Just the memories with the guys when the clock finally hit 0 was just something I'll never forget. I'd just like to say thank you to all of our fans and supporters and everyone who makes this great program possible and everything that we do here.
Your passion, energy, and support have meant everything to this program.
We appreciate their support and all the support they've given us throughout the year.
The sky's the limit for this program, and we couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you.
This program's going to take off. It's already there right now, but it's just going to keep growing and growing.
Playing alongside some of these guys and having this coaching staff and this fan base has truly been an unreal experience.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce you our senior class, one last time. Our first senior tonight has been a Rebel for 1 season, transferring from NCAA Division I Long Island Sharks. He made his mark with 18 goals, 30 assists for 48 points in 28 games. He has been a staple on this team as an assistant captain, helping the program reach new heights. He'll be graduating in May with his master's in business administration from Saskatchewan, Canada, Preston Broziak. Preston is joining us today at Kansas City Motel. Our next senior is another NCAA Division I transfer who joined the Rebels this season from the University of New Hampshire. He helped lead the program to national headlines with a 13-3-1 record, a 2.05 goals against, and a .91% saves. To roll along with 4 shutouts, his most notable game in the net for UNLV was making 58 saves against Denver for the Rebels' first win against NCAA opponent from Northport, Illinois, and graduating with Master's of Business, Jeremy Gordon. Our next student athlete we'd like to introduce has been with the program for 4 years and quickly became known as an offensive threat. He has been the ultimate scorer, racking up an incredible rap sheet of 64 goals, 82 assists, and 146 points in 128 games as a Rebel. His quick speed sets him apart on the ice and will be graduating in May with a business management degree. From Lakeville, Minnesota, please put your hands together for Bradley Golan! Bradley Jordan is from the Davis and Mother Heather. Our senior has been with UNLV for the past 5 seasons, served as an assistant captain this year. Sitting back on the blue line, he has helped defend the Rebels against goals throughout his 83 games in the Scarlet and Gray. Rain or shine, he always brings a smile to the UNLV locker room, bringing his teammates closer together on and off the ice, and graduating this May with a hospitality degree from Willowbrook, Illinois, Kyle Quinn. Kyle was joined by his father Chris, his mother Linda, and his aunt Ade Murphy. Our next senior hails from Alberta, Canada, and has been with UNLV since 2021, appearing in 128 games while tallying 42 goals and 100 assists. He spent the last 3 seasons playing alongside his younger brother Jackson, leading the Rebels to historic accomplishments as an assistant captain in the past 2 seasons. He was to lead a key part in the program. He'll be graduating with a accounting degree. Let's hear it, Cole Ryan! chip, appearing in 90 games for 25 goals and 66 assists. He is the epitome of toughness and talent earned the WCHL Most Valuable Player this year. He will graduate with a degree in economics from British Columbia, Canada, Matias Dalonte. Matias is joined here today with his father Kyle Quinn and his mother Lisa Severak and Megan Kirk. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for our seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able for our national anthem, presented by Chris Berkey. Here to sing the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome Evelyn Arugula.
Whose cross stripes and bright stars
And there you have it, the formalities of senior night out of the way. UNLV hockey and their fans honoring Matias Dalonte, Cole Wyatt, Kyle Quinn, Preston Brodziak, Bradley Gallant, and Jeremy Foreman on the final regular season game in the scarlet and gray. Now we're going to take a look at the starting lineup. First up, UNLV, Bradley Gallant, Preston Brodziak, Cole Wyatt, Matias Dalonte, Kyle Quinn, and Jeremy Foreman, all 6 seniors graduating, are starting here tonight for the Skating Rebels. And taking a look at Arizona State, Ryan Quas, Sean Phillips, and Hunter Freeze in the forwards, Wyatt Palmer and Keaton Tonez, the defenseman, and the third goaltender in net for the Sun Devils this weekend, Eric Garber, is going to be in between the pipes. ASU utilized 2 goaltenders last night in their 4-3 win in regulation over UNLV. We talked about how it was a gut punch earlier on in the open, AJ, and how assistant coach Nick Raboni expects them to play a full 60 minutes and how critical it is at this stage of the season to do so.
Yeah, they really need to capitalize tonight. They had a lot of momentum going in that first period, but the wind kind of got taken out of their sails after Arizona State scored that first goal. And they were able to get it back a little bit, go up 3-1 off 2 Caleb Strong goals, but shorthanded, and then the power play goal definitely felt that momentum shifted again at the end of that second period. UNLV playing for the seniors tonight, have to capitalize on offensive chances and play a full 60 minutes like Nick Raboni said.
And they begin to do so now. Brodziak and Phillips dig in. We're underway at City National Arena for the final time in the 2024-25 season. Thank you all for joining us on this ride, and enjoy the show. UNLV wearing their brand new white jerseys for the first time at home. This jersey is sponsored by Misha Molten Law. As Arizona State in their own end of the crimson and gold jerseys look to start a breakout. Here's Brodziak with a drive off the pad of Garber and through the wickets of Cole Wyatt. An early chance for the senior group out there. Here's Gallant moving on in, centering try up top down. Monte, he shoots off the blocker of Garber and directed to the corner. And now here's Brodziak down low. He gets bumped by Tonez. Wyatt up top for Dalonte. Dalonte skates the line, shoots one, tipped on net into the chest of Eric Garber, who holds for a whistle. That was Preston Brodziak out in front with the redirection.
Well, a good opening shift for the seniors. They're getting a really good opportunity, getting really good offensive zone and shots on goal. And really curious to see what we expect from Garber today, the third goalie that we've seen from Arizona State. Both goalies last night played really well.
Both goaltenders for ASU, as you said, playing exceptional, was Hayden Manning in net for the latter half of the game, who ended up sealing the win for the Sun Devils. Nathaniel Glenn started between the pipes for ASU. A new group out there for UNLV. That's Caleb Strong, joined by Oliver Band and Tristan Rand, with Devin Nagra and Dylan Ford. Strong with 2 goals last night in that 4-3 loss. Both of them coming in the second period. Tristan Rand looking on the score sheet. Here's Band with it now on the half wall. Oliver Band turns away from pressure, rounding out his freshman year in the scarlet and gray. Up top, Bo Kennedy. D-to-D for Dylan Kuntz. He shoots one, tipped just wide of the net by Caleb Strong. And that's recovered on the wall, but nearly sent out and cleared out of the zone by Caden Butler. Kennedy gains the zone once more for UNLV and sends it in deep. Ty Marchant gets sent to the ice by Mason Kelly, who introduces himself to the game early. And here's Jake King now. He gets bumped in the slot. Jake King with a goal last night as well. As the puck finds its way on net, icing is waved off. Grady Franklin gets bumped to the ice by Heath Mensch on the forecheck. Spun one to the side of the net there, and it bounced off the side of the cage. And now Quinn pitches it back down low, around the wall. Down Monte has that poked away from him. Sothopoulos recovers and sends it over to his captain. Dalonte gets pickpocketed. Here come the Sun Devils. Moving on in. A shot from in tight. Save made for a rebound chance. Another save by the senior goaltender. And Cade Olson, the captain for ASU, gets bumped by Sothopoulos as he sends it rink wide, and it gets directed deeper into the zone by Carter Newland. Now Dylan Jensen's breakout pass intended for Sothopoulos goes just underneath the blade of his stick, and it gets sent right back into the zone by Tonez. And now Arizona State establishing a bit of a forecheck here in the opening 3 minutes of this period. That puck skips out of the zone. Hayden Siegel gets gapped by Tonez as he was trying to pursue that loose puck. Sean Karaman in the lineup tonight for the final game of the regular season for UNLV. That gets sent on net in the trapper of Garber, who holds for a whistle. Offensive zone job coming for the Rebels.
Well, a good opportunity for ASU there. Jeremy Foreman able to put a stop to it with 2 big saves. The rebound had a really good chance for the Sun Devils, but Foreman there to stop it. Now we'll see UNLV in that offensive zone, see if they can get something going.
Brodziak digs in against Sean Phillips. The starting line's out there for both teams. Nagra shoots one, tipped on off the shoulder of Garber. It's loose in between the pads, and he seals those black, gold, and maroon leg pillows and creates the whistle. And back underway here. A shot there off the draw, blocked in front. Now down low, Brodziak between the legs feed. Here's Strong, shoots one. Chest save made by Garber. What a chance on a unique feed there from Preston Brodziak down low between the legs. Brodziak, another between the legs feed to the point, and that gets directed out of the zone by the Sun Devils. That was Chase Seachrist clearing the zone there for ASU. Now Nagra over the red line to Gallant on the wing. Gallant moves in. He pulls up at the half wall, sidesteps a check from Seachrist. Now Brodziak down low, shoots one off the side of the cage. Spun back up top. Rand shoots, he scores. Tristan Rand opens up the scoring on senior night off of a beautiful assist from Preston Brodziak.
Well, we have the senior Preston Brodziak getting the assist for the youth movement leader, I would say Tristan Rand, kind of passing of the torch maybe in that opening goal. Couldn't have drawn it up any better for UNLV to start this game.
And UNLV, unlike Friday night, they strike first and take the lead in their senior night game against ASU once again. Tristan Rand off of a beautiful feed from below the goal line of Preston Brodziak. So now Jake King with it in his own end under pressure from Oliver Band. His pass chipped away off the half wall by Rand, spun up top for Kennedy. DDD for Kuntz. Kuntz shoots one from the point, redirected on, they score! Oh, they don't score, off the post! Chase Garber, or Eric Garber, didn't look like he saw that one all the way through. It was a bit of a knuckle puck, and another shot tipped just wide of the net by Cole Wyatt. And now down low, here's Oliver Band. And now Dylan Kuntz moving on in, shooting one wide of the net, trying to go low on Garber was Kuntz. And Bo Kennedy gives chase into his own end. Kennedy leaves that one over for Kuntz. Off the wall onto the tape for Karaman. Rink-wide feeds cut off by Cade Olson. Olson opened up the scoring last night in the game, scoring the first goal for Arizona State, giving them their lead last night. And now onto the near side. Kyle Quinn on the left wing sends it in for Mensch. He lets that one bypass him. Stathopoulos softly up top. Dalonte with a drive, redirected to the end wall. Now Mason Kelly engages with Butler. And still down low as Kelly gets tripped up. No call from either official. Dalonte with a drive into the trapper of Garber, who holds for a whistle. Eric Garber seeing a lot of shots early on in this game, making some pretty timely saves just about 6 minutes in.
And he's seeing a lot of shots from the blue line, too. A lot of howitzers maybe coming right at him from the blue line. And that one I thought earlier that hit off the post, I thought that one was in, but just barely not.
And as he said there, it was very close to being a 2-0 game. I thought that that puck was in, and it just hit maybe right underneath the crossbar, but the official on the goal line waved it off immediately. Here's Stathopoulos shooting one, tipped away from the net. Looked like it went off of the shin pad of Grady Franklin, who's wincing in pain on his way back to the Sun Devils bench. Now Keaton Tonez with it. Saucer pass tipped down the length of the ice. And an outstretched Kyle Quinn gets a stick on that one. Quinn with it again, will retreat in his own end, leave that off for Dalonte. And Dalonte leaves that one for his deep partner, Devin Nagra. So after a handful of shifts, the seniors dissipate back to their normal line and defensive pairing combinations. Anthony Vigneri-Greener and Nick Raboni letting the seniors play together on one line and one deep pairing one final time at home. And now Kerriman with a move, moves it over for Siegel. Siegel down low. And now Dylan Ford down low, poked away by Phillips, and he's going to start it out. And Sean Phillips sidesteps a big collision with Dylan Ford. Ford wanted to tattoo the Sun Devil player at the red line. Now here's Ty Marchant, the smooth skating defenseman for the Sun Devils, to start it out. He sidesteps Hayden Siegel over the red line. He gains the zone, takes the bump, leaves it on the wing. A shot from just the outside. Pad save by Jeremy Foreman. He'll hold for a whistle. And that was Carson Cooch. He had a goal last night, generating that shot on goal. And back underway at City National Arena, UNLV starting down in their own zone, onto the right wing for Bradley Gallant. Gallant pulls up just inside the zone. Saucer pass off the skate of Brodziak. It's just wide. And Jake King cancels him out, and King gets sent to the ice by Gallant. A drive from the point off the blocker of Garber. Now Brodziak. Marchant picks his pass off. That goes off the stick of Mark Ducharme. Now Brodziak with it again, down low, up top, strong, catches, shoots off the shoulder of Garber. And now Gallant kicks it to himself. Up top, Dalonte shoots one, blocked in front by Ducharme. He lost it in his equipment, and it gets poked out by Seachrist, and he's going to engage in a foot race with Dalonte, in which the UNLV captain wins that one. Now Arizona State keeping the forecheck up, not allowing Kyle Quinn to really survey the ice behind his own net. He gains the zone on the left wing. Quinn takes it down low, puts the brakes on, and loses the puck to Grady Franklin. Now here's Tyler Kiley Ram, who ducks underneath the check attempt of Matias Dalonte at the blue line. UNLV recovers down low and sends it into their own bench for a stoppage of play. 11:27 to go. UNLV still looking okay on the rush. But, AJ, they can't really get much set up in their zone since that first goal.
No, they haven't. And they had some really good forechecking on that last possession by Bradley Gallant, laying the lumber, forechecking, getting the puck in, but really weren't able to generate any shot opportunities. And now ASU in the offensive zone.
Yeah, shot there from the point, whistles just wide of the net. That was Hunter Friesen from the high slot, and Kate Olsen shoots one, blocked in front, and it gets poked away from Olsen by Tristan Rand, and here he comes on the right wing. Rand with his head up, gains the zone. Eye-level sauce for Cole Wyatt, couldn't be settled down. And now here comes Ryan Quast, who gets canceled out by the younger Wyatt, or the older Wyatt, excuse me. Now here comes Cole on the right wing. He cuts to the center. Saucer pass pitched up by Cade Olsen. On the tape for his teammate, and now Sean Phillips dances through center, shoots one into the glove of Jeremy Foreman, who holds for a stoppage of play.
Yeah, a few chances for UNLV on the rush, not able to convert anything into their own zone. And, you know, something we noticed last night is ASU on their own counter rush, counterattack was really effective. And so far, they're getting really good shot opportunities off that counterattack rush themselves.
Arizona State, as you said, starting to come alive in the transition game. That's a game that UNLV thrives on. And here they are setting up. Centering drive for Kelly, and it just rolls off the blade of his stick and goes wide. He had a wide open net on the back post of Garber, and a beautiful feed by Heath Mensch. All for naught.
Yeah, what a chance coming off the rush. As we were just saying, they were struggling. They got a huge opportunity, just couldn't get it on net.
And UNLV missed the net a lot last night. Something that they would undoubtedly want to fix tonight. That's chipped in by King. King gets it again off the pad of Foreman. What a give-and-go play by the pair of Sun Devils on the rush. That was Matthew Gross and Jake King on the give-and-go. Ty Marchant now. off the skate of Carter Newland. And that pass goes off the skate of Dylan Jensen. He gets bumped at his own bench and spun to the ice. There's Carson Cooch coming together with the Rebel freshman. Now Marchant with it in his own end, behind his own cage. Pressure by Jensen, gloved down by Siegel. From the slot, shoots one wide of the net. Now Siegel with it again, takes it down low. Siegel looking, pulls back down low. Now give and go with Williams. King pickpockets Siegel. Parker Williams cuts that clear attempt off, and King finds it again and sends it around the wall. Quinn whacks it back down low on the stick of Marchant, and he sends it to the opposite side of the ice. Now Dalonte with it, loses the puck. Here's Jake King. Dalonte sends Carter Newland to the ice after they got tangled up in the corner. No call, and Jake King turns the puck over to Parker Williams, covering for his captain in the D end. And Cade Olsen's going to recoil for the Sun Devils. There's Newland. Turns the puck over to Caleb Strong, who's going to retreat in his own end. Around the wall for Ford. Sent up ice. Over the head of the Sun Devil defender. Here's Bradley Gallant looking from the dot. Feeds one to the back post again. No joy. Strong shoots one. Shoulder save made by Garber. What a sequence for Eric Garber in the blue paint for the Sun Devils. And UNLV is starting to come alive on the rush. Here's Brodziak with it again. Shoots one into the trapper. And Garber's seen enough. He'll hold it for a whistle at the 8:11 mark as we run into our first media timeout of the game.
Well, right now, UNLV coming alive on the rush, like you said, and feels like they've had so many good opportunities, and a few of them just missed the net. But Eric Garber standing on his head for Arizona State, the third goalie this weekend. The other two last night played extremely well, and so far, Eric Garber has been more of the same.
Yeah, all three goaltenders, AJ, have been playing remarkably for this Sun Devils team. Very, very remarkable performance by those netminders. Jeremy Foreman making 5 saves so far. Garber making 8 on 9 shots. The goal scorer, Tristan Rayan, earlier on in this period. So when we come back, it'll be Preston Brodziak digging into the faceoff dot against Sean Phillips. Brodziak's flanked by Caleb Strong and Bradley Gallant on either ring, and Devin Nagra and Dylan Ford in the back end. Gallant whacked one off the draw. And just missed wide. Now here's Ford under pressure from Quas, and Ford gets chased from the offensive zone. Now Brodziak to the left wing for Strong. Strong pitches it towards the net. It gets cut off by Friesen. Now here's Dylan Ford with it. Softly over to Gallant. Up top, Nagra. Pitched back down low. Cut off by Franklin, who gets bumped by Caleb Strong. Strong and Olsen do battle along the wall. Bit of a mess behind the ASU net. Dylan Ford cuts that off and sends it back down low. Franklin loses his stick. Caleb Strong with time. Tried to center it for Brodziak and gets picked off. Here comes Hunter Friesen. Friesen dances to the outside, drops it off, and it finds its way on net. Foreman holds for a whistle. That was Ryan Quas who found it in between the legs. Fresh groups coming on for the Rebels and the Sun Devils as well. And we're back underway, just under 7.5 to go in the first period. Now here comes Tristan Rand, the goal scorer on the left wing, moves in, dips a shoulder, shoots one off the pad and off the skate of Tony. It's fed out in front. Wyatt gets denied at the goal mouth. Cole Wyatt with a beautiful chance on that second chance opportunity. And Garber positionally sound. He makes the save. And this game stays at 1-0. And it gets sent out of the zone by Butler, cut off by Quinn and sent back in, but cut off by Tonez now. Wyatt Palmer over the red line, sends it into the zone. Quinn and Butler lock up in the corner. It gets knifed to Heath Mensch on the left wing side. Mensch skating away from pressure, leaves it softly for Dalonte on the right side of the ice. Dalonte now. Chip to Stathopoulos, to the center for Mason Kelly, who knifes at it to the corner. And that puck gets jammed past Heath Mensch, and now here comes a partial 2-on-1 developing. Carson Cooch poking at it, but advantage. Jeremy Foreman with a big goal stick poking that one away and breaking up that scoring chance. Heath Mensch gets taken down. Mason Kelly dances through traffic and a whistle, and Heath Mensch behind the play is being cross-checked in the face by Cooch, and Stathopoulos showing his distaste, and we have a coming together on the far side boards, and it's a Donnybrook. There's some small punches being thrown. Nagra's taking on 3 Sun Devils players and taking a few punches. Devin Nagra not shy to take anybody on. He played a handful of games in the BCHL, AJ, a notoriously tough and skilled league. The freshman on the back end making his mark. And Heath Mensch still talking, and Cooch is still throwing punches at Mason Kelly, and Kelly is no shy guy either. He played in the Knoll for the El Paso Rhinos and has had his handful of bare-knuckle fights in juniors as well.
Well, I'm not surprised by what we're seeing after last night. There wasn't a whole lot of aggression, maybe a little bit towards the end, but felt like Mason Kelly was putting on some good moves going to the net before it got whistled dead because of that altercation, if we want to call it that, over
I'm
the
not
blue
sure
line.
exactly what happened behind the play to even cause that. I believe maybe Mensch and Cooch got tied up, like their legs got tangled of some sort as they went down in the neutral zone. Maybe Mensch gave him a shot to really start that thing. And no, it looks like Cooch, from a replay here, he just fell on top of Mensch and just kind of came up high on him and gave him a shot to the cage early. So we're waiting to get the penalties here. Not sure if there's going to be any ejections for fighting, though. There were some punches thrown, but I don't think it was anything severe enough on the UNLV side of things to be deemable of an ejection. The official talking to the captains, Kate Olson and Matias Dalonte, and Dalonte skates over to his bench. Heath Mensch is still on the ice, so is Justice Stathopoulos. Mason Kelly looked like he was the only guy who went to the penalty box, and he's still in there. And now Heath Mensch will be sitting in the box with him, as you saw there on your screen. So Carter Newland has posted 2 minutes right now on the board. That may be the only penalty that is posted directly to the scoreboard. And there could be an additional pair of offsetting minors for Carson Cooch. And trying to see if there's a third Sun Devil in there. It's just Newland and Cooch, so possibly Carter Newland gets 2 and Cooch gets 4. We're going to await the official sentence here in a moment, but 5 skaters on for UNLV, 4 on for Arizona State. So UNLV is going to be on the power play here. I believe we're still sorting things out. It may be the official at the UNLV bench giving the coaching staff an explanation. So no longer posted is Carter Newland. Now it's Chase Seachrist posted on the board. So we're going to take a look at the live game stats on the ACHA website to see if anything's posted in there yet penalty-wise. Not yet. So when that page is updated, we'll be able to give you that update of the penalty. But nonetheless, UNLV on the power play after that dust up in the final home game of the season. Now here's Brodziak. Down low, Preston Brodziak looking. Brodziak centers one off the back of Gallant, it looked like. That clearance goes off the back of Phillips. Loose puck, shot, score! Caleb Strong, his 3rd of the weekend on the power play. UNLV goes up 2-0.
Well, get on the power play quickly and score, something they struggled on last night. Let up a shorthanded goal, but Caleb Strong gets them on the board again, going up 2-0 off a misfortunate bounce from the Arizona State clearing attempt that just bounced off another player right onto the stick of Caleb Strong, who buries it.
Caleb Strong scoring 3 goals this weekend. We mentioned in the earlier stages of the first period, he had 2 last night in the second period. And furthering along that he is not a garbage goal scorer, AJ. His 3rd of the weekend coming at a pretty good time.
Yeah, not a garbage goal scorer indeed. That's gonna be
Power play goal scorer at that now. And now here's Cade Olson with it. That pass goes off the stick of Jake King. It's knifed at. Bouncing puck at center, lost on the feet of Grady Franklin. Jensen finds it, plays it towards the slot, picked up by King in his own end. On the tape, Olsen on the left wing. And moving on in, and Dylan Kuntz with a poke check on the back check, breaking that play up, and he gets sent to the ice for his efforts. That was Matthew Gross developing that rush. Now here's Dylan Jensen on the left wing. Jensen shoots one off the shoulder of Garber. And now here comes Dalonte gaining the zone. Fed Rink wide for Rand, looking for a second of the night. Quinn pitches it back down low. Now Olsen with it, backhand. Deflects off the skate of Cole Wyatt, and Franklin on the right side of his D zone sends it out. Now here's Tristan Rand with it. That rush gets broken up. Sean Phillips chips it around the defender. Phillips moving on in, shoots one, they score! And a turnover at the blue line. A great heads-up play by Sean Phillips to poke that around the defender. And Arizona State draws to within 1.
Well, just like what happened on the UNLV power play, a costly mishap, if you will, turnover in their own zone leads to Sean Phillips picking up that puck and finding the back of the net and bringing them back within 1. So just like last night, Arizona State, they didn't go away, and they're not going away tonight either.
So Arizona State responds to the power play goal against with a goal 4. Once again, that was Sean Phillips scoring that one for Arizona State. So just under 4 minutes into this game, we already have 3 goals total. Now Caleb Strong with it on the left wing. Forward shots to cut off at the net by Tyler Kylie Ram. Ducharme on the left wing, chips it around to the slot. That shot misses the net. And now Gallant chips it towards the net, and Garber finds it and holds for a whistle. Caleb Strong jams at the trapper of Garber for a second. Wyatt Palmer shows his displeasure and is talking to the official.
Well, what we were going over with Caleb Strong in the garbage time, when we said he was garbage time, it was true at the time. He had only scored those late garbage time goals, but ever since we've brought that up, he's been scoring nothing but meaningful goals for UNLV.
It was, in fact, garbage time goals a lot as Garber directs that to the corner. Now he's scoring a lot of goals and good timing. And a delayed penalty upcoming on UNLV. So Arizona State, after drawing to within 1, they're going to go to the power play. And a big collision at center ice. Gross and Stathopoulos come together. And a shot from King misses the net wide. Stathopoulos got the worst end of that one, and the play is finally blown dead. And it's going to be a roughing call on the Skating Rebels. Waiting to see who's going to be going. And it's going to be Parker Williams, AJ Williams finishing a check right in front of us. And UNLV taking a penalty, giving the Arizona State special teams a chance to tie this game right up.
Yeah, and special teams was huge in their win last night, scoring the 4th and game-winning goal for them. So we'll see if they can add on to that momentum they were getting in their power play last night.
And as we mentioned, Carson Cooch had a shorthanded goal last night as well. And Garber overskates the puck, shot, score! Bradley Gallant with a shorthanded goal himself on his senior night. And that's something that we haven't seen in a while. If you watch Steve Dangle on YouTube, that's a dang it. And if you're a goaltender, just tend the goal.
Yeah, just tend the goal indeed. And Bradley Gallant, I believe he's now first on the team in shorthanded goals. I believe him and Joey were tied going into it, and I now believe that he leads the team at either third or fourth of the season. UNLV, they generate on their penalty kill, they generate a lot of shorthanded opportunities, so I'm not surprised that they were able to get that, but Garber's got to stay in the net and not let that happen.
And that's something that you really look at last night, AJ. Hayden Manning, I believe it was, ended up falling over behind that exact same net, trying to play the puck behind the net. And now tonight, you have possibly the worst thing that could happen as a netminder. You turn the puck over and no one's back there to help you out, and you give up a goal, and no less a shorthanded goal. So now on a power play with about a minute left that Arizona State could have tied the game on, now they have to draw to within one once more. And AJ, you were correct in that. Joey Carollo and Bradley Gallant tied with 2 shorthanded goals a pop entering this game. Gallant takes the lead with his 3rd shorthanded goal of the season, matching his number 3. Now Arizona State set up in the zone. That's Franklin up top for Olsen. Olsen misplays the puck, leaves it for Franklin. Down low. Still working it down low. To the dot. A shot there. Misses the net wide and almost out of the zone. And it was the linesman rules that offsides and points emphatically to the faceoff dot. Under a minute to go.
Emphatically is right. He got real low for that one.
Yeah, just offsides. There's no camera on us, but kind of mimics that offsides call there. 15 seconds remain on the Parker Williams roughing minor. And that gets sent into the Arizona State bench. Head up for Hayden Manning and the coaching staff. And it looks like Hayden Manning will throw that puck right back to the official. Bradley Gallant with that shorthanded goal as well. AJ keeping the lead in overall goal scoring on the team over Tristan Rand. Rand tied it up earlier with his goal at 22 a pop for those 2 players. And then Gallant, I should say, excuse me, burying that shorthanded goal extends his marker to 23.
We'll see if Rand has another one in him to get that tie back. Possibly 2 more, get the lead over Gallant.
And that would be a hat trick for Tristan Rand. He's had a couple of those already this season. 15 seconds remain in this first period of play. Kate Olsen with it, maybe one last rush for the Sun Devils here. And no such thing will happen as ASU ices the puck. 7.1 left on the clock. Arizona State will have a defensive zone draw coming up.
And, last night, Arizona State was able to get a real late goal at the end of that second period that was kind of off the draw to bring them within 1 goal going into the third. So we'll see if UNLV possibly has something like that in them today.
And they win the draw to start that. And Dylan Ford is just going to skate back, and a shot finds its way on net as time expires. That was Ryan Quaz getting one last shot on goal. An eventful first period, some fisticuffs, some hits, and 4 goals. UNLV leads 3-1 through 20 minutes. We're going to step away to take a quick break. Intermissions are a bit shorter than usual tonight. Stay with us. More UNLV and ASU action on senior night coming right up.
on after the first intermission. UNLV cashes in 3 times, ASU only once. And Bradley Gallant, senior night for him, and he cashes in on a goal. For ASU, this game kind of is an exhibition game for them, but yesterday we saw how much it meant to them winning that game, and it is a completely different game. UNLV came out on fire, and that's pretty much the breakdown of the first period right there. With that, we'll send it over to Zoe Salas.
Joined with me is Kyle Quinn. Kyle, it's senior night. How are we feeling so far?
Feeling good. It's a little bittersweet, but the boys are up right now, and we're happy we're in this game to be here, and yeah, all good right now.
What impression are you hoping to leave with the Skating Rebels?
I've been here for about 5 years now. Obviously, I want to leave my mark and just leave this place better than I found it, to be honest.
And out of all the years that you've been here, what's your favorite memory?
Honestly, I can't break it down to one, but just being around all the boys every single day and being in this beautiful community and city every day.
Awesome. And then how are you thinking about the game so far? Is it what you expected?
We're coming out a little better than we did last night. We just got to close it out and do it the right way. So.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kyle. Dom and AJ, back to you guys.
Thanks, Zoe. Thank you, Kyle. And thank you all the fans for continuing to watch this game here tonight. Through 20 minutes, 3-1 is your score in favor of UNLV. They lead the shot 16-9. Lots of penalty minutes to go around early in this one. 14 penalty minutes a pop in the first period alone. There's a bit of a dust up early, or about midway through the frame. We can finally read those penalties off for you. So Carson Cooch serving a 10-minute misconduct. Carter Newland getting a double minor for roughing. One of them served by Chase Seachrist. Mason Kelly, a 10-minute misconduct. Heath Mensch roughing, and that dust up at the 14:09 mark. Looking at the scoring breakdown, Tristan Rand and Caleb Strong. And then Sean Phillips draws Arizona State to within 1. And then Bradley Gallant, the last goal in this game, scored his 23rd of the season, shorthanded, his 3rd shorthanded goal of the year, leading the Skating Rebels in that department.
Special teams, that's been the story so far. UNLV getting it on the power play and shorthanded. This is a penalty kill unit that generates a lot of shorthanded opportunities, but that one unfortunately was generated by the ASU goalie, Eric Garber. Getting out of his net, misplaying the puck, and Bradley Gallant finding it and burying it. But overall, feels like UNLV has been a bit more dialed in on offense. I mean, they've struggled on the rush a little bit, but getting some good chances and getting it on the net for the most part. Arizona State still looks pretty good on the rush. Their one goal coming off a turnover in the UNLV zone that they generated into a score. So just like last night, Arizona State was down 3-1. So we'll see if they've got another 2 goals in them to try and make this one a whole new game.
And we're about to find out. The second period is underway from City National Arena. Thank you all once again for joining us. If you're just joining us, and if you stuck with us all game and all season long, thank you all for sticking with us for that long. Now in the opening minute, the team switch sides. Garber is now on the far end. Jeremy Foreman is now in the end closest to the broadcast center as he comes out to almost play that puck. Tyler Cully-Ram and Matias Dalonte try to play that one. And now here's Caleb Strong on the left wing. Strong, rink-wide feed, Brodziak corrals it, feeds it towards the net, and it gets deflected out, fed towards the back post, goes off a stick, and a drive from the point. They score! And Preston Brodziak on senior night scores a goal, redirecting that one home in front. And make that a pair of seniors, AJ, finding themselves on the score sheet in their final home game.
And 2 points for Preston Brodziak, who had the assist to Tristan Rand in that first period. And I mentioned in the first period that Garber was seeing a lot of shots from the point, and that was another shot from Dylan Ford, redirected from Brodziak to get the Rebels on the board and make this 4-1.
And Ford absolutely tattooed that puck from the point. He got a nice skating start into that one. And Brodziak tips it home, and a shot from Cole Wyatt gets saved and swallowed up by Garber. So just about a minute into this one, UNLV extends their lead to 4-1. Besting their goal total from last night. Seacrest feeds to Newland, who goes off his stick, and King finds that one and turns it towards the net, and it goes wide. Now Wyatt does battle with King and Newland right in front of us here. Band directs that out of the zone. And we have an icing. Bo Kennedy touching that one up. Bo Kennedy has taken a moment to acknowledge him. Kennedy coming over here and skating to, he gave us a little smile there, AJ, as if anyone has tuned into the broadcast over the last year and a half, maybe, they would know that Bo Kennedy has participated as a rinkside reporter a handful of times.
Friend of the program.
Very, very dear friend of the program. He's dressed tonight. Dylan Kuntz gives chase, locks up with Sean Phillips. Fed out in front off the pad of Foreman as he seals the bottom of the net. That puck ended up in between the pads. But sealing the ice there, keeping that one out.
Something to keep note of, since we had that scuffle in that first period, that UNLV, they don't want to get too aggressive and too feed into the aggression that Arizona State wants them to, because you got the national tournament coming up. If you get a suspension or something crazy like that, that's going to be served in that first game of the national tournament. In an exhibition game, no less, too. You don't want to throw away a game in the national tournament like that. So UNLV trying to be on their best behavior, but they won't take anything lying down either. Which they shouldn't. I mean, they need to not just let it happen, but be mindful of what they're doing. Obviously, got to defend your teammates, defend your boys, and you get scrappy sometimes, but you don't want it to boil over where a suspension could be on the table. Exactly. Got to stay very demure and very mindful in those scrubs as Arizona State ices the puck. Faceoff's going to come out back 200 feet. Now UNLV with possession in their offensive zone. Down low for Siegel, and got to stop at your play. Well, in case you were tuning in last night and you saw that puck all the way up in the net. Yeah, it's still there. In fact, it's still there. Hasn't moved at all. Still there, yeah. Don't think it's going to move. VGK practice didn't move it. No, I don't believe they skated today. I'm not entirely sure if they did. Took the night off. The Golden Knights picking up a 4-0 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins at T-Mobile Arena last night. A shot there from Hayden Siegel misses the net wide. And UNLV still with it down deep in the zone. And now here comes a 2-on-1. King shoots one, misses the net, and Foreman clears the goal crease. Jake King really putting a lot of effort into that shot as he takes a bit of a slip and fall after he released that one on the odd man rush. And Dylan Ford and King come together. Ford wanted a call, and the official is giving Ford a talking to the other way. As Sean Kerriman has it again. Shoots one, knocked out of the air by Galan, and it's frozen by Garber. A very good hand-eye coordination display by Bradley Gallant, an avid pickleball player, AJ. And Bradley Gallant actually played college tennis at his former school, the College of St. Scholastica. Oh, pickleball picking up steam all over the nation. I mean, even in class, we're doing stories on pickleball, which is crazy. If you asked me 4 years ago, I would have never expected that. But really, a fast-growing sport here. Yeah, Chicken and Pickle is a pretty cool spot in Henderson. If you're a Las Vegas local and you want to play some pickleball and have some good food, Chicken and Pickle, please sponsor the broadcast next season. That would be amazing. As that puck hops over the stick of Tyler Kylie Ram at the blue line. He would have had a breakaway there. And his pass goes out of the zone to Marchand, who turns it on net for Foreman's pads. Dylan Kuntz corrals behind his own cage.
We'll make sure to clip that and send that over to Chicken and Pickle on our pitch, AJ, in the offseason. Use code UNLV Hockey for 10% off your first game.
Not a real code. Yeah.
That pass goes off the skate of Caleb Strong, and Dylan Kuntz finds the loose puck and sends it into the corner. And that loose puck's picked up by Tristan Rand, who leaves it for Matias Dalonte. That pass gets poked away. Rand gets bumped by Quast, and now Quinn on the tape for Wyatt, who leaves it for Rand on the right wing. Shooting one! Save made Garber.
Well, the UNLV offense still pretty dialed in from the first period, getting some good opportunities. Bradley Gallant had a chance, as you mentioned earlier, but Garber was able to snuff that one out. Still putting a lot of pressure on the ASU netminder to start this second period.
We're backing away. Dalonte with a drive, tipped just wide of the net. Now there's Oliver Band in below the goal line. Knifes that up to the point. And Quast gets bumped off the puck by Rand, trying to pick up the loose puck. And now Arizona State looking to get a breakout going in their own end. That's Jake King, who chips it in and hops around the defender, Dylan Ford. Devin Nagra drops it off for his D partner. Ford now on the tape for Mensch. Mensch on the left wing, rink wide for Nagra. On the tape, in for Kelly. Moving on in. Kelly for it, backhand wide of the net. Or Garber got a piece of it. Centering try for Mensch. He couldn't get a stick on it. He pickpockets his man, but turns the puck right over. Caden Butler chips that around Dylan Ford and gives chase. And Ford and Butler go to the ice in the corner. Butler centering try, and King fans on the shot. Wide open to the slot. He slashes his stick in disgust and gets changed up. And AJ, that's nightmare fuel if you're a hockey player.
Yeah, I had it right where you want it in the slot. Great centering pass and just fans on the shot. It's one thing to have it saved by the goalie or miss the goal, but it's a whole other thing to not even get the shot off cleanly.
And Mason Kelly takes a bump, and we have some more coming together behind the play as his shot found its way on net for Garber. Kelly got checked by Matthew Gross. They've been coming together a lot tonight. Mason Kelly has drawn the ire of a handful of Sun Devils players tonight, just playing his brand of hockey, which is hard-nosed and nonchalant.
Very nonchalant, but putting on some skills move earlier, right? That was him forehand, backhand. So nonchalant, but still a little flash to it.
Kelly not one to celebrate his goals either. He's very big on act like you've been there before.
The Barry Sanders MO.
Exactly, as we have a penalty, or a stoppage, I should say. Looks like there's a penalty. I initially thought a player from the UNLV bench ended up grabbing one of the ASU players' sticks out of their hands, but they just chopped their piece of lumber, and it was ruled off sides at the 13-11 mark. Arizona State starting to break out. Kyle Quinn gets bumped to the ice by Cooch, and Dylan Jensen can't knife that one in. Karaman finally gets it into the zone, though. A little bit of extra stick work after plays from Arizona State and UNLV. So the game gets a bit chippier. As we mentioned last night, AJ, Arizona State has literally nothing to lose in this game. UNLV, they have pride. They have a bit of an ego that they can lose, a swagger heading into the national tournament. Whether that's good or bad, you lose your swagger going to the national championship tournament is up for debate. Depends on your perspective on things.
Well, yeah, I mean, winning games at the end of the season, definitely momentum is a huge thing. When you think of teams that play in like these long national bracket based like March Madness or the ACHA tournament, it's really a war of attrition to get to the end of it. And you really need that swagger and that momentum going early on in the season to propel you into that first round before you can, find your footing and get going.
As a rink-wide pass attempt gets tipped on net into the trapper of Garber. We have another stoppage. 11:47 remains in this middle frame. An offensive zone draw for UNLV. Shot goes off the pad of Garber. UNLV trying to keep the zone. The puck almost flutters into the bench, and Tristan Rand gives chase of the loose puck, corrals it in his own end, and hits forward on the tape. Forward gets sent to the ice by Ryan Quast for his efforts. Arizona State continuing to bring the physicality. It's of note, Hunter Friesen, who's out there right now for the Sun Devils, donning the number 93 in the maroon and gold. Rand shoots one off a turnover from the slot, and there's a pad save from Garber interrupting that story. And UNLV continues on. We'll finish up that story in one moment. Here's Nagra, shoots one, redirected wide. Band tries to filter it to the open ice. Doesn't get cleared out of the zone. Rand on the near or the half wall. He gets bumped to the ice by King, and that gets knifed around Kuntz, who finds it behind him and sends it in deep again, keeping the zone. There's Rand in the corner who's tied up. He plays it to the open ice, and Arizona State finally clears it down the length of the ice for an icing. Bo Kennedy's the first one back there. So to finish up that story, Hunter Friesen wearing 93 in maroon and gold tonight. As you see him in the bottom right of your screen there, right behind Ryan Quast. Ended up going blow for blow with Dylan Ford back in December. It's a brief clip in the opening montage to our broadcasts. They ended up fighting each other, and that was one of many as a shot from in tight gets deflected away from the net. That was one of many scrums that these two teams have seen this season, and is really in the last 3 or 4 games. Nicholas Bonaldi, Bo Kennedy, and Mason Kelly came together in the neutral zone after Bonaldi cross-checked Sean Kerriman when he was down. After he got hit at center ice, Matias Dalonte got hit up high at center ice as well. So a lot of physicality in the last 4 games between these two WCHL opponents. Arizona State's won twice. UNLV has won the season series already as they ice the puck with 3 wins and counting. Arizona State's looking to maybe split this thing 3-3. And rather than UNLV winning, I should say, they have a deciding game 6 here.
And ASU, they've played the UNLV close all season long. Handed them their first loss in regulation. I believe they've handed them their only 2 losses in regulation this season.
They did.
If I'm not mistaken.
As we have another coming together. And guess who? Mason Kelly and Matthew Gross. And they're going to lock horns in front of the net now. Under 10 minutes ago now, Gross and Kelly punching each other. And Gross's stick gives Mason Kelly a nose job, and Mason Kelly's going to go for a penalty as well, and he's pretty upset about that. He feels like he didn't do anything wrong. So it's going to be a high stick on Gross. And we're going to await the penalty on Mason Kelly. 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes at the 9:31 mark. And it seems like Kelly and Gross are each other's favorite players right now. They're just inseparable. Here's Grady Franklin up top with the extra room. Caden Butler whacks that towards the net. Gets deflected to the half wall. Gallant finds it. And Gallant doing battle with Cade Olsen, and they start going blow for blow behind the play, and they're still punching each other, and Cade Olson still giving Gallant some shots, and Kyle Quinn comes over. And they're still jawing all the way through. And they're going to join their teammates. Gallant gives a little how do you do, and so does Olson, the captain for Arizona State. And that's something interesting, AJ, to really see because, I mean, it was really Cade Olson who was the aggressor. Gallant gave him a little chop in response to a high cross-check towards the neck area. And then Cade Olson just starts putting the hands in the face, and that's when all bets are off. So still 4-on-4. We have the official skating over. And we have some more players going into the penalty box. Matias Dalonte is now posted 2 minutes.
Plenty of room for more players in the box, I guess.
I'm not entirely sure why Dalonte is in the penalty box. Unsportsmanlike conduct is a signal that we're getting, and we're just about as confused as everybody else. So 4-on-3 power play now for Arizona State for 1 minute and 39 seconds, and UNLV is going to continue to be shorthanded 5-on-4 for an additional 21 after that 4-on-4 period is over. So UNLV having a pretty big kill to kill off here, and Brodziak starts it off well with a good stick. And heads up Rolando, that puck riding up into the netting. He ducked out of the way, so that's probably the closest call that he's had all season long. And the UNLV crowd not happy about the latest set of penalty calls. Now Butler saucer pass, knifed at by Kuntz. Backs it up the wall, gets directed in, and Nagra sends it 200 feet. So we're waiting for the penalties to be registered on the ACHA website. And we'll get you the official ruling as soon as they're posted. 50 seconds to go on the 4-on-3 period. Here's Caden Butler to Kylie Ramp. Now Butler dropped it off from Marchant. Return pass. Butler feeds it to the goal mouth. Tipped in front, loose puck. Everyone whacking at it. Foreman sprawls out and finds it. Jeremy Foreman lurching out of the blue paint, hungry hippo style to find that one.
Well, a good opportunity for ASU with all this open ice on the 4-on-3. A power play that looked pretty good last night. Got a goal. But Jeremy Foreman standing on his head, keeping the Rebels up 3 still. Excuse me.
Arizona State retains possession. Now here's Carter Newland to Franklin, top of the slot, top of the circle. Give it and go. Cooch, seam pass, Newland shoots one, tipped away. And Newland's checking out the lumber to see if it's broken or not, and UNLV clears the zone, 10 seconds remaining in the 4-on-3. Now the final seconds ticking off the 4-on-3 period. Arizona State still on the power play for an additional 20 seconds. Kelly's back out of the box with Matthew Gross. Now here's Jake King, down low, Newland. Now King. Top of the circle. Return pass Newland. He pivots. Tries to feed it to the stick of Cooch in front. Wide open. Couldn't get it. Went through the paint. King with a drive. Off the chest. Loose puck. Is filtered away. Stathopoulos gets it out of the zone. And UNLV back to full strength. Arizona State ices the puck. 6:54 to go. Shots are 23-15 in favor of UNLV. And it looks like the officials going back over there to bring some other Arizona State players onto the ice. And Phillips and Kelly will dig in at the center ice logo. Phillips wins the draw clean for Arizona State. Off the skate of Friesen, Kelly plays that to Stathopoulos, who gets bumped off the puck. Loose puck is picked up by Friesen. Friesen gets tripped up, and here comes another penalty on UNLV. Kennedy touches up, and that one is a bit questionable there. It's going to be called as a hook. And Mason Kelly still being the favorite player of the Sun Devils. As we hit another media timeout, Dylan Kuntz and Ryan Quast talking all the way back. Mason Kelly and Sean Phillips exchanging some barbs. Sean Phillips off that other draw, AJ kind of slashed Mason Kelly, and Arizona State's going back to the power play for a hook.
Well, there were 3 penalties last night. We've already eclipsed that, I believe, in the first period, and now how about another one? ASU back on the power play after UNLV just killed a 4-on-3 that turned into a 5-on-4. Matias Dalonte trying to get an explanation from the refs there, as he agrees with us here that it was a little bit of a soft call.
He's trying to talk to the officials there to get an explanation. Everyone's going to disembark from their benches. Dalmonte trying to be diplomatic with the officials, but it seems like they're not really having it tonight. So we're back underway after the media timeout. Brodziak and Stathopoulos digging at it. Stathopoulos whacks to the open ice. Niagara in a puck race. It's won by the Sun Devils. And Stathopoulos racing for that puck, and he gets there and sends it out of the ice after giving a bit of a snow shower to the Arizona State bench. Ryan Quatts didn't enjoy that one that much. I feel like he prefers hot showers then. Here's Palmer driving the net, puts it to the slot, no one home. Jake King finds it, dips the shoulder, pirouettes. Saucer pass for Marchand. Marchand shooting one off the stick of Foreman. And now here's Butler for King. Butler with a drive off the pad of Foreman, and Dalmonte sends it 200 feet on net for Garber. 1 minute to go on the Coots minor. And now here's Wyatt Palmer again. Ford gets that takeaway and sends it out of the zone. Delayed offsides. Arizona State tags up. Hayden Siegel grips and rips it down the length of the ice on net for Garber, and that took an odd bounce on its way in. Under 40 seconds remain now on the Kuntz minor penalty.
And not a lot going for ASU on this power play. UNLV doing a really good job on the penalty kill, sending it down and forcing Garber to take on some weird bounces.
As Friesen tried to center that one for Kylie Ram. Friesen and Kelly get locked up together. Kelly wins that puck battle under 20 seconds to go. Staring at the final 15 on this power play for the Sun Devils. Cooch up top for Franklin. Franklin moves in. Cooch at the faceoff dot. Shoots one. Tipped wide by the stick of Hayden Siegel, it looks like. And now Friesen down low for Kylie Ram. He looks from the dot. Kylie Ram feeds it to the slot. Gloved and framed as a strike by Jeremy Foreman. UNLV back to full strength.
A good penalty kill from UNLV, really limiting the opportunities, and very disciplined unit out there, clearing the puck, not trying to force anything on shorthanded. They already have the shorthanded goal, but still forcing Eric Garber to make a play on the puck after they saw what happened in that first period.
And another glove save there. And Bo Kennedy and Sean Phillips mixing it up out front. Bo Kennedy with a interesting choice of taunt there as Foreman freezes that one. Phillips was in Kennedy's face, and he just grabs his face mask and pushes his face to the side, saying, yeah, get out of here. Phillips locks up Kennedy behind the play. He took another bump from Ducharme.
Not sure the effectiveness of that move from Bo Kennedy.
Oh, it worked. They started skating away from each other, so we'll make sure to ask him about that post-game or maybe at the intermission. We'll see which one comes first. Here's Dylan Jensen now. Trips up at the center ice, but he keeps going. Jensen with a shot from the non-angle. Bounces away, and the rebound's cleared to the half wall. And now Quinn with it. Being hounded by Phillips. Swept it nearly to Ducharme. I bet his eyes got wide as saucers seeing that slow floating loose puck in the slot. He just couldn't get there. Here's Parker Williams now on the left wing. He gains the red and sends it into the zone. Arizona State trying to get a breakout started from below their own goal line. Dalonte cuts that play off and lurches to find it. Now Band to Rand on the half wall. Tristan Rand from the top of the circles finds Ford. Shooting one, tipped on net, and Garber makes a save and holds for a whistle. 2:46 to go.
Well, Dylan Ford got the scoring going off the point that got deflected by Preston Brodziak, trying to make magic happen again from the point.
Dylan Ford finishing out his junior year with UNLV. He'll be a senior next year. Rand with a shot off the draw. Gets deflected up into the protective netting on the opposite side of the ice. 4 seconds after that face-off, we're going to be setting up for yet another one. Oliver Band dances his way through that draw. Arizona State comes away with possession, and you got a stoppage of play now. And that's going to be an offsides call. So the faceoff's going to come just outside of the UNLV attacking zone. 2:35 to go. And Oliver Band wins that clean. Nagra, saucer pass on the tape for Rand, and that gets chopped away from him. He skates through pressure. And that gets flipped off the glass and out. Nearly out of the zone. Rand keeps it. Misplays the puck. Gets shoved to the ice from his stomach. Tried to play it deeper, but it got cut off. And now Jake King. Looking, King, toe drag, moves his way to the slot, and bodies are flying everywhere. No shot on goal for ASU. And here's Cole Wyatt on his tape. Wyatt sidesteps a hit, but the puck gets separated from him. Ty Marchant trying to leap into the senior, and a centering try, swing and a miss for Tristan Rand. Bo Kennedy's shot's blocked at the point, and here comes ASU the other way, but Kennedy picks off that passing play and sends it back north, and he finds it once more, but leaves Mensch to take it. Now Heath Mensch starting this rush, shoots one from an odd angle. It goes wide. Kelly in deep now, plays it for Mensch. Mensch is tied up. Kelly supports, wraparound try. He's knifing at it, and Garber seals the ice with the pads, and he makes a save. And Mason Kelly still being tenacious tonight.
Tenacious is the word I would use as well. He's been in everyone's business, it feels like. I mean, no love lost between him and Arizona State. I'm sure there's been nothing but nice things said about him on the opposing team's bench.
100%.
Still trying to make plays happen on offense.
Yeah. Nonchalant, remember?
Nonchalant with a little flash.
Exactly. And a big hit by Kelly there on the half wall. That hit sent Carter Newland off of his feet, and Kelly gets tripped up. He draws a penalty, and a big-time hit from Stathopoulos after the play, and Kelly is being pushed again after the play by Keaton Tonias. I'm not sure really what happened. Then you have Evan West to the left there, checking his watch, smiling ear to ear. And that was probably the most weird stretch of plays that I've seen in quite some time. I mean, I'm not sure what the penalties are going to be here. There's 2 doubles in the box right now. I believe it should be Keaton Tonez in the box. And I did see the technical get thrown up, so I believe it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Keaton Tonez. Justice Sathopoulos will likely get a rough. Carter Newland's actually posted a double minor for right now. 4 minutes are on the board with 1:10 to go. So it's going to be a trip and unsportsmanlike on Carter Newland that draws a double minor. Keaton Tonez sitting as well to serve part of it, and the loose puck fed out in front. It doesn't make it to the goal mouth. The final minute is upon us here in the second period at City National Arena. And that puck is knifed down. Here comes Kylie Ram, shorthanded. Caleb Strong plays that around Ryan Quas, 35 to go. And now here's Strong with it again. Now Karaman weaving his way through traffic, plays it to the corner. And a good effort from Devin Nagra to kick that one, and he's trying to shake that one off. The good 2-touch soccer move with 20 seconds to go by the freshman.
Well, really agile move there to kick that puck. It almost looked like it should have counted, but he was 2 or 3 feet behind the blue line, so not able to keep it that way.
No, he was not. Still a good effort, though.
Something good to show in the skills highlight reel.
Exactly. So 20.6 to go. Face off in the defensive end for UNLV is won by Oliver Ban. Heath Mensch drops it off for Dylan Kuntz. With under 15 seconds to go, now in the final 10, Oliver Ban's going to look to try and wind up a rush. Sathopoulos sends it into the zone. And the final few seconds ticking off here. Sathopoulos can't get there, and there it is. A horn sounds on an eventful second period. The physicality staying pretty dialed in here through 2 here at City National Arena.
Yeah, the physicality I expected to pick up another level in the third period if the games have told me anything so far this season. Physicality usually does pick up in that third period, but ASU, they didn't go away in that third period last night. We'll see if the same is in store tonight. Got more hockey at City National coming right up.
Well, 4-1 after the second period. Preston Brodziak cashing in on a pretty decent goal. Pretty nice for a senior night. ASU's keeping up the physicality, though. We saw it getting a bit chippy, between Heath Mensch and a couple other ASU players. Kelly also getting involved. Keys for UNLV, keep the speed up. They're kind of beating the bricks off them in the speed category, as well as ASU, keep up the physicality. It seems to be ramping up in this game. And with that, we'll send it back over to Zoe Salas.
I'm joined here with Matias Dalonte. Matias, how do you feel about your senior night so far?
It's been awesome. Super special to have my loved ones here, and they did a great job with the video and the ceremony, and it makes me emotional reflecting on my time here. I love it so much, so it's been amazing.
What impression do you hope to leave with the UNLV Skating Rebels?
I hope that they just keep doing what we're doing. I mean, this group is so hungry for success, and it's not any one thing that I've done in my time here that they're going to remember. It's the culture that we've built, and I'm super excited to see where it goes the next few years.
I love that. You're about to go into your last period as a Skating Rebel. How are you feeling? How are you hoping to close it out?
Just trying to stay present, play a good period here, close the game out, get a win, and give all the boys a big hug.
That's awesome. Good luck out there, okay? Thank you so much. Dom and AJ, bring it back over to you guys.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Kyle. And for one of the final times this season, thank you all to the fans and the viewers for tuning in. Stats very quickly through 40 minutes, 27-19 the shots, 1-for-1 UNLV on the power play, 30 minutes each, a half an hour each in penalties. Some keys here. UNLV keep up the speed. Arizona State manage the game. UNLV entering this period 2 minutes and 50 seconds of carryover power play time. Carter Newland, a tripping minor and an unsportsmanlike conduct minor on top of that one. After a brief dust up towards the end of the middle frame, we're back underway in the third.
Well, if these first two periods have taught me anything, it's to keep an eye on number 46, Mason Kelly, who's been all over the place, jawing at people, some fisticuffs.
The 2-on-1 dissipates. That was Caden Butler trying to find Matthew Gross on the wing. Mason Kelly coming together with Matthew Gross a lot tonight. Now here's Rand moving in. Seam pass tipped away. Mensch settles it down and sends it back in. And sent into the zone. Tristan Rand now with it. Give and go with Kuntz. Right back up to Kuntz at the blue line. He shoots one through traffic. He scores. What a play by Showtime, or Showtime Kuntzy. UNLV goes up 5-1 after converting on the power play.
Wow, the blue line has been really effective for UNLV today. And another goal generated from the blue line. We saw Dylan Ford in that first period get it on net, which was deflected by Preston Brodziak into the net. And now Kuntz gets on the board for UNLV. The power play 2 for 2, and it's 5-1 UNLV.
And as we mentioned last night, Kuntzy or Showtime is his nickname, or you could put them all together and call him Kuntzy Showtime. And he really put on a show on that one, a seeing eye puck from the freshman at the point.
We weren't able to figure out how he got that nickname last night, but maybe tonight we can do a little digging.
I think it speaks for itself there.
Full display for everyone to see.
Carter Newland softly to the wing for Hunter Friesen. Friesen loses the puck at the blue line, and now Brodziak from the red line sends it in. Full sail changes for UNLV on the other end. The Showtime moniker, AJ, can also, if there's a rivalry somewhere in the WCHL or beyond, can open up a rival nickname of the showstopper. Maybe a goaltender or something of the likes. That's yet to be seen, as obviously Dylan Kuntz is finishing his freshman year.
Well, last year I would have said the showstopper would have been Doug Wakelin at UCO.
Yeah, he definitely, that's like a big game in UNLV hockey lore in recent years. And a centering try for Rand. Save made by Garber. UNLV getting back activated. Tipped on off the post. Tristan Rand looking for his second one. Niagara dances around traffic, shoots one, loose puck in front, jammed at by Band, they score. And that's a touchdown for UNLV. Oliver Band waving at the Arizona State bench as he goes by. 6-1.
Touchdown is good, and so many chances to talk about on that last. Tristan Rand hit the post before Oliver Band finally converted with now 6 points for UNLV. Extra point is pending.
And that arm swing, according to a lot of people, might look better than his golf swing, Oliver Band's. We'll have to check him up with the team again after tonight's game, and we'll get that to you whenever. Just DM us on Twitter at Dominic J. Lavoie at _AJ Reed 1. Follow us, please, as well. We need followers. and we'll let you know. If it's a burning question enough, we'll let you know. Jake King with it, being harassed by Jensen. Finds it rink wide for Mark Ducharme, who drives the left wing, shoots one over the net. Bouncing puck settled down by Hayden Siegel. Here he comes on the left wing of speed. Shoots one. Save made. Follows his rebound all the way to the net. And here we go again. And we have Sean Karaman, who just got dumped, and Karaman is down and injured on the play. Sean Karaman shaken up after being sent to the ice in front of the net. And Jake King is going to be going to the penalty box. And he's laughing and shaking his head as he takes a seat. So UNLV with a chance to go 3 for 3 on the man advantage here tonight, as they possibly begin to take liberties. We're going to take a look at what exactly happened to Karaman. And it was King who basically punched him in the neck area and sent Karaman to the ice. So, in fact, liberties are starting to be taken, and here's Oliver Band looking for his second on the power play. And Kuntz now looking, shoots one into the pad of Garber, and he'll hold for a whistle. And something to note, AJ, the commissioner of the ACHA is also in attendance. He'll be giving UNLV the WCHL trophy post-game.
Good to have esteemed guests present for the final game of the season.
Another in a long list of those for UNLV. A centering try, they score! And another goal on senior night for Preston Brodziak as he relishes in the moment with the fans. The extra point is good.
Extra point is good, and that is 3 points now, I believe, for Brodziak. 2 goals and an assist. So he had that assist earlier to Tristan Rand in that first period. He might have 4 points, depending on if he had an assist on a goal I'm not aware of, but at least 3.
He has 4.
4 points. So 4 of the 7 UNLV points have come off the stick of Preston Brodziak, and 2 of those were goals. A really great night for him. Senior night. Can't ask for a better night than this.
Yeah, you could not. I mean, he is certainly leaving his mark on this program. And UNLV is 3 for 3 on the power play. And there's Mason Kelly again. Kelly digs that free, tries to center it, it gets picked up by Franklin. Spins away from pressure. Now here's Kylie Ram on the left wing. Tried to drop it off for Butler, and here comes Stathopoulos on a partial break. Stathopoulos pulls up at the hash marks. Down low, Mensch. Mensch reverse hits Kate Olsen to the ice. And Sean Karaman back out, no worse for wear. Nagra and Olsen come together, and here we go again. And Cade Olsen headbutting Devin Nagra, and Cade Olsen skates away as soon as the official gets in there, and Hayden Siegel upends the Arizona State captain. And Hayden Siegel and Grady Franklin introduce each other. And it looks like the officials might be taking 4 players to a side here 5 minutes into the third period, as frustrations begin to boil over. Cade Olsen, the Arizona State captain, sitting in the penalty box once again tonight, which interesting display as the captain of your team taking multiple frustrating penalties. I mean, you could see it either way, to be quite honest with you as well, AJ. I mean, you could see it. I'm sticking up for my team. I'm not going to be down 7-1 in a hockey game and let that winning team take liberties on my teammates. Or it could be, I mean, hey, lead by example. Why are you taking penalties, retaliatory penalties in this game when UNLV is already 3 for 3 on the power play? It doesn't look like there's going to be any man advantage as of right now. There's 1 penalty posted now to the board. Caleb Strong's number is up there, so Arizona State will come away with a power play here. Cade Olsen, regardless, sitting in the penalty box as the captain of the Sun Devils team. So Arizona State now with a chance to maybe register a safety of some sort. If we were talking football, UNLV with a chance for another shorthanded goal, and that man right there in first into the forecheck, senior Bradley Gallant, scored shorthanded earlier on tonight.
Well, yeah, and it felt like if anyone was going to get a penalty there, it would have been Siegel with the late hit on Olsen. Olsen, you know, debatable if that was a flop or not, but hit the ice nonetheless. But curious to see where that penalty came from for Caleb Strong.
I believe he may be serving some sort of double minor. The officials have been handing out 10-minute misconducts like they're candy on Halloween this game as Caden Butler drives an pass to the slot. A shot gets blocked in front, which explains the increased penalty minutes. At the start of this period, it was a half an hour, and we have another liberty taken on guess who? Mason Kelly drawing the ire again. And a little bit of gamesmanship from Kelly at the 14-15 mark. And who else against but Matthew Gross? He's trying to give him his teammate's glove. That's Wyatt Palmer's glove. And he's giving him, here you go. And he just tosses it aside. So Mason Kelly having some fun. Arizona State taking another penalty, and this one a frustration penalty. That was Wyatt Palmer for a rough on Mason Kelly in the corner.
Well, what did I say at the start of this period? Mason Kelly, player to watch, because seems to be getting in everyone's head. Matthew Gross, feels like they've come together a few times already tonight. Can't keep them off each other. How about one more? We'll go 4-4.
It's like that LeBron James clip that you love from that podcast. Let me give you 2 more. So
thank you for joining me on this ride. Here go 2 more for you.
So here comes Arizona State 4-on-4 for 50 seconds. And Cole Wyatt picks that play off the half wall. The senior's going to bring it up the left wing. He pulls up at the half wall. Seam pass to Dalonte. Dalonte pirouettes, and H fans on the shot thanks to the stick of Hunter Friesen. Marchand spins away from pressure. And now here's Marchand again. 20 seconds remain in the 4-on-4 period. And now UNLV waiting behind their own end. They're going to try and puck drag, it seems, to get back to full strength and get on the power play. Tristan Rand stops up at the blue line, gets hit high and from behind. No penalty. Keaton Tonez is going to puck drag. UNLV is going to be on the power play for about 45 seconds, and Kylie Ram sends that up ice. It's recovered in the back end by Kuntz. Tape to tape. Mensch to band. Stathopoulos on the wing. Up top, Mensch. 30 seconds to go. Mensch moves in from the dot. Shoots one. Loose puck. Rand shoots in the outstretched stick of Sean Phillips from his stomach. Blocks that one. Tristan Rand was looking for another one tonight. Now approaching 15 seconds to go on the power play for UNLV. Rand drops it off for Stathopoulos. Up top, Kuntz with 10 to go. Kuntz looking. Stathopoulos from the top of the circle. Kuntz up top with a drive. Wide of the net. Loose puck and another good stick from the Arizona State Sun Devils. This time, Keaton Tonya is jamming Tristan Rand at the goal mouth. Arizona State back at full strength, and here's a partial break. Dalonte is back there. And toe drag, driving the net, pad save made. That was a good effort. Now UNLV in their own end with under 12 to go. That's Kyle Quinn surveying the ice behind Jeremy Foreman. Now here's Bradley Gallant. Goes off of a pair of sticks, no icing. Garber comes out to play it. He rings it around the wall. Ducharme gets it plucked off of the blade of his stick, but Grady Franklin with it now. Touches it on for King. Franklin and King give with a little unintentional give and go, it seemed, and sidestepping a check was strong, and he regains possession in center. Off the wall, Dylan Ford sends it into the zone softly. Marchant overskates the puck. He gets it back to Grady Franklin. And Caden Butler tips it out of the zone. Under 11 to go now in the third period. There's Wyatt Palmer back out there. And Foreman comes out to play it and sends it into his own bench for a whistle. 10:34 to go in this home schedule for UNLV this year.
We've been talking about it all night, but it's crazy that this is the last regular season game. I feel like this season flew by. Just a couple weeks ago, we were gearing up for the home opener, and here we are 5 or so months later getting ready for the national tournament.
It's been a fast year, AJ. Very, very fast year. Lots of change on the broadcast team. Lots of new faces. But a fun year overall. And there's a penalty posted to Tristan Rand. Awaiting the official call. Or it's on Foreman, actually. I misread that. So Arizona State back on the power play. I believe it was delay of game. And delay of game was the call on Foreman. So already 30 seconds gone in the Arizona State power play. ASU looking for really anything in this one tonight for pride as we officially pass the halfway point of the period. And a pair of big hits from Dylan Kuntz along the wall.
And guess who else?
Mason Kelly. Now here's Marchant looking from the top of the circles. Marchant turns one on, tipped on net. Foreman looking for it. Loose puck directed behind the goal. And a good stick there by Stathopoulos to break that up. And here comes Mason Kelly in a foot race. Kelly beats that play, puts one on. Second chance, he scores. Mason Kelly shorthanded, 8-1. UNLV leads. And AJ, guess who he gave his woohoos to? Matthew Gross.
Of course, those two have been dancing all night, if you will. And we've been saying their names all night. Mason Kelly, what would we say, nonchalant with a little bit of flash? How about a little bit more flash, short-handed? 2 short-handed goals for UNLV. Special teams has contributed to 5 of their 8 goals, 2 of those short-handed, which is crazy to say.
What a performance by the special teams unit for UNLV. And that play all starts with Justin Stathopoulos along the wall, getting his stick in that passing lane and winning that puck battle, and then also just chipping that puck up the ice. to get that breakaway started for Mason Kelly, and just Kelly got on his horse and got gone as soon as he saw that loose puck, and he gets rewarded following his rebound.
Well, this penalty kill unit that I've said a lot of times generates a lot of short-handed opportunities. That's just because UNLV has so much speed on this team that they can get those short-handed opportunities. But it's been a really disciplined penalty kill unit all night for the Skating Rebels.
100%. I mean, they haven't really overplayed their gaps, and hey, they're back to full strength already. They haven't really overplayed their gaps. They haven't gotten too eager. And they just strike when the time is right. As Foreman makes another stop in the follow-through of Ryan Quast. That puck ends up in the glove of Foreman. 8:13 to go. Face-offs out to the left of Foreman. Rand wins it clean. Kyle Quinn misplays the puck, but makes a stop at the blue line. Quinn gets tripped up in the neutral zone, and a bit of a mess of players there. And that puck gets tipped away. Now Dalonte behind his own net. And now there's Dylan Kuntz. Played up ice by Karaman for Rand. Rand now dips the shoulder, drives the net, puts one on. Pad save made by Garber. And we'll have another offensive zone faceoff.
Well, stark contrast to last night's game, which ended 4-3 in favor of ASU. Nick Raboni said he wanted to see his team play a full 60 minutes, and so far, in about 53 or so minutes into this one, it looks like they have.
And to paraphrase and kind of change up a quote by Chris Collinsworth, instead of things looking a little Mahomey, this looks a little Jamestowny.
I don't know if I like that one.
As Arizona State ices the puck. And as a lot of people know, Patrick Mahomes undefeated at Allegiant Stadium in the NFL. And Kuntz shoots one, redirect, a rebound, chance they score. Justin Stathopoulos has one in him tonight. It's 9-1.
I was going to say that exact same thing. Dominic has one in him indeed, and that is the 9th goal for UNLV. Let's take a check and see how many different goal scorers that is. I know Preston Brodziak has a pair.
And we're checking that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different goal scorers.
So Preston Brodziak, the only repeat scorer. 8 different goal scorers for UNLV. Sharing
remarkable.
the sugar.
They are indeed sharing the sugar. And Stathopoulos bumps Kylie Ram from the corner. He tries to center that one, and it gets broken up. And we have some coming together in the corner, and Mason Kelly finds his way there, and Showtime Kunze, and guess who else is in there? And it's Matthew Gross. He's just been everywhere that has to do with a penalty, with stick work and punches and shoving tonight. We're going to see if anyone else from UNLV is going to be taken, and yeah, it's going to be Dylan Kuntz, so it's going to be showtime in the penalty box, and going to take a look at how many penalties. Yeah, there's a lot of penalties tonight.
Well, and I mean, it's crazy. It's always Mason Kelly and Matthew Gross, and then
they don't even need to take a penalty.
Yeah,
they don't even need to take a penalty. It's just they're just there. They just always seem to find each other. It's strange. It's like there's a running joke in basketball media where this is like the Jeff Teague and historical NBA moment, because it seems like Jeff Teague is always in some sort of crazy NBA moment and he always has a story with it. So it's quite remarkable, quite remarkable. So Kuntz has a penalty posted, and there's still 5 out there for ASU. So the Sun Devils are back on the power play. This game's kind of falling apart at the seams here with under 7 to go, discipline-wise. UNLV taking a lot of penalties. They've been shorthanded a decent amount here lately. And Marchant sends it rink wide. Cooch, centering try, an outstretched pad of Jeremy Foreman makes the stop, and he'll hold for a whistle. 6:14 to go.
So I counted 22 penalties between both teams.
Wow.
Combined.
And that's only on the last penalty for Jeremy Foreman, delay of game.
I included the
you
the
did.
recent one, yeah.
Man, but also the other ones aren't posted because, I mean, Matthew Gross is sitting in the penalty box too. So, I mean, that could be 2, that could be 10, 23 penalties total. And a swing and a miss from Caden Butler as he fans on that shot. Arizona State still with possession in the zone. Shot filter to the slot. Loose puck out in front. Directed back on. Save made. Foreman. Fed to the goal mouth and fed to the open ice. Cooch turns one on. Loose puck right outside of the net. Caden Butler dekes, shoots one, pad save Foreman. He stretches out and finds it and holds for a whistle. 5:34 to go.
Well, making the senior goalie earn it tonight.
They
All
are.
kind of chances right there. Missed it wide.
25 saves for Foreman.
On the yawning cage, felt like.
Now Grady Franklin on the tape for Palmer. Palmer moves in from the dot, shoots one, blocked in front by Bo Kennedy. Now 30 seconds to go in the man advantage for Arizona State. Cade Olson. And now Carter Newland on the left wing. Newland breaks us into the zone. Down low. Up top for Olson. Feeds to the goal mouth. It's cut off by Quinn. He overskates a puck and finds its way into the corner. There's Palmer with it. Saucer pass up top for Franklin. UNLV back to full strength. Loose puck. Picked up by Parker Williams, fresh off the bench. And here's Williams. Seam pass off the stick of Galan, and he takes a spill. Sean Phillips with it now. Gets canceled out by Williams. And now here's Nagra. Nagra tried to drop it off for Brodziak. Couldn't get it there. Now here comes Phillips with it. Phillips rink wide feed on the tape. Centered off the stick of Foreman. That was Ducharme. Now Dylan Jensen. And now here comes Friesen. Sidesteps a hit from Quinn. Bo Kennedy, the rinkside reporter, credited with the secondary assist on that last goal. Now here's Jensen. Quinn sends it back down low. Now Dalonte. Quinn shoots one, blocked in front by Jensen. Swept back up top. Quinn has it hop off of his stick and just out of the zone. He'll work that over for Dalonte, approaching the final 3 minutes. Here's Dylan Jensen. Pulls up. Band. Wyatt. Tried to feed it to the goal mouth. Danila Savitsky's stick had something to say about that one. Now Caden Butler on the left wing. Chips it around Bo Kennedy. And Dylan Ford gets hit and spun to the ice and gets a bit of extra. That was Butler. Now here's Tristan Rand who pulls up. Rand cuts to the slot, shoots one over the net. And Caden Butler plays through the whistle and hits Kyle Quinn, but Quinn ended up getting caught by the linesman there. 2:31 remains in the third. Mason Kelly and Tyler Kiley Ram dig in just out the UNLV offensive zone. And Dalonte sends it in from the red line. And that gets knifed all the way down the ice. Dalonte settles it down behind Foreman. Under pressure from Palmer. Now Arizona State changing up as we approach the final 2 minutes of the 2025 season. Here's Mason Kelly looking for his second. Dumped it off for Mensch. Toe drag to the slot. Shooting one. Save made by Garber. A dazzling display of the hands from Heath Mensch.
Silky mitts, as they might say.
Silky smooth, indeed. Or you could say dirty, whichever one floats your boat. That puck gets sent out of the zone by Arizona State. Niagara is in pursuit with Bo Kennedy. Niagara plays it around the wall. Kennedy gives chase. Phillips is there. Now Kennedy skies that one to center ice. Settled down by Jensen. Driving the net. Puts one on Forsberg style. Doesn't make it work. There's an outstretched pad of Garber stops that one. Here's Karaman from the half wall to Williams. Jensen moves in. Jensen shoots. Blocker save made by Garber. What a play by Parker Williams to get that puck to Jensen between the legs.
Great passing right there. Laid it on a platter.
A silver platter even. And the final minute of the 2025 season. Once again, UNLV has a week off. Or about 6 days from now, they play the winner of Arizona and Oklahoma in St. Louis, Missouri, as Mensch feeds one towards the slot and it gets tipped wide. That game next Friday, March 14th at the Centene Community Ice Center, a place that UNLV is known very well in the last handful of years. The national tournament being there the last 3 of the last 4. 2023 was in Boston where UNLV got bounced by Liberty under 30 seconds to go. And we're approaching the final 15 seconds now, deep in the UNLV zone. And now there's Stathopoulos. And UNLV is going to try and dribble this one out as we hit the final 10 seconds. Works back over to Matias Dalonte, and he sends that one around. And the final seconds tick off. UNLV, get it back in blood. 9-1 is your final score on senior night. UNLV sends their seniors off in the same way that they started this season at home, with a commanding win over their opponents. And speaking with a few of the seniors pregame, AJ, they said a lot of the feelings of this being their last game won't set in until the final buzzer sounds, and can only imagine what they're feeling right now.
Yeah, it's hard to really capture the true essence of the emotion when you know that this is the last time you'll be putting on that Skating Rebels jersey, playing at City National Arena in front of this home crowd, for this school, for this program, for this team. And, for some it might not even set in until, after the national tournament, whether that be win or lose.
The last time they pull off that sweater.
And then it'll really set in, but what a great career that all these seniors have had for UNLV. Preston Brodziak tonight scored 2 goals. Matias Dalonte on the score sheet with an assist. Bradley Gallant with a goal. Jeremy Foreman holding down the paint.
Just overall, top to bottom, a phenomenal game by UNLV to bounce back, and quite the good body of work put together by this Skating Rebels team. As the teams shake hands, the players that were scratched tonight get their gear on once again. There's going to be the WCHL trophy presentation. We're going to do our best to get you guys the best shot possible from where we're at in the broadcast of the trophy presentation. But once again, looking forward, the national tournament next week. Looking at the schedule, UNLV playing at 4:45 p.m. The winner of number 15 ranked Arizona, number 18 ranked Oklahoma. They win that game. They play the winner of Niagara, Maryville, or Northwood. They win that game. They could be playing Utah, Drury, Westchester, Midland, Purdue Northwestern, Minot State. And it looks like they're gonna be facing the camera when they get the WCHL trophy. We're gonna go ahead in a couple moments, turn things over to our PA announcer Joel Blakemore to introduce the trophy presentation as everyone eagerly awaits the program's first league championship.
And really, what a season this has been for UNLV, playing some really good opponents, beating Denver in Denver over the winter break.
The defending NCAA D1 national champions. They've won 2 of the last 3 national championships. And for them to beat them on the road, it doesn't matter if the NCAA views it as a shootout or whatever it may be. They beat them on the road. They score more goals than them. That's just what happens.
At the end of the day, that box score will say UNLV 7, Denver 6.
Indeed it will.
Whether people want to recognize that or not, they did win that game. And to end it off with their first WCHL championship in program history, it's hard to really find a more deserving team than this one, who's really proved it in every facet of the game.
There it is. We're going to turn things over to our PA announcer, Joel Blakemore, for the presentation.
Your Skating Rebels are the Western Collegiate Hockey League champions. Presenting the 2024 WCHL Championship Trophy is League Commissioner Christopher Berry, accepting his captain, Matias Dalonte. Let's hear some noise from your UNLV Skating Rebels as they receive their first ever WCHL Championship trophy.
There you have it, Matias Dalonte accepting the WCHL championship trophy, and everyone's going to go for a skate. There's Preston Brodziak. 4 years of the NCAA Division I level at Long Island University. And now the captain, Dalonte, is going to take it for a skate. And there's Kyle Quinn, the senior. Going to give it over to Cole Wyatt. Cole Wyatt, both of his parents are here, his girlfriend Caroline. Lots of loved ones to go around.
His brother as well.
Yeah, his brother Jackson Wyatt. And there's Jeremy Foreman, another 4 years at the University of New Hampshire. And it looks like the hot laps were interrupted there. And now they're going to go ahead and set up for a picture in front of the hometown faithful. And the faithful of the Skating Rebels fans are going to be the backdrop for the team's first ever league championship. And that's a picture worth 1,000 words. To remind everyone, we spoke with Jamestown head coach Dean Stork earlier on in the season, and he said anything short of a national championship as a coach, if I was coaching that program, I would be disappointed. I'm sure ending the season off with this championship presentation and this win a week away from nationals, this team feels the same. And there's Mason Kelly with the trophy as well. So this is the final image that we're going to leave you with in this 2025 season. Matias Dalonte placing the WCHL trophy back on its stand. The captain of the Skating Rebels program. Once again, the final score in the final game from City National Arena, 9 for the Skating Rebels, 1 for the Sun Devils. On behalf of myself, Dominic DeVlois, AJ Reed, Kyle Sparrow, Zoe Salas, Jack Bridges, Rolando Guerrero, Gene Gomez, Kyle Kimsey, and all of us who has ever stepped foot in this broadcast booth for the Skating Rebels, we sincerely thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And take care of yourselves. Nationals are just 6 days away.